Hello. Oh my gosh. That's better. How's everybody doing? Welcome to the stream. We're going to slowly get into things. I believe people will continue to join as things get started. Hello, everyone. Yo. How's the sound? Sound working good? Is there music playing right now? I don't think so. Hey, Andy. Hey, Karen. What's up? Well, I just got the kids to bed. Having a couple of cold pops. Chilling out. Setting up the stream, which was really fun. No music right now. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, welcome to the stream. And welcome back to the channel. I'm Whiskeyloung. You probably know that if you're here. We have a really fun show lined up tonight. Get a drink, get a snack, and yeah, we'll snettle in here. We're gonna snettle into the show. Should be a good time. I don't know how long we'll run for. Last time I said we'd go for an hour, and it ended up being 3 hours, just because we were chatting so much. Everybody seemed like they were having a good time, and we just all chilled out with each other. So that might happen again. But before we get started, I just want to say thank you to everyone. We're getting really close to 22,000 subscribers, which is honestly just blows my mind. I appreciate you all being here, especially now that we're kind of in the Olympic break phase of the season. There's no NHL hockey for like a few weeks now, but I still want to produce a bunch of content over that time. We'll do stuff like, well, hockey news will pop up, and I will do the recaps for at least the Canadian games. I'll also do like Habs theory videos, and maybe I'll do like Habstalgia video. Remember when I did one for did I do one for Maurice Richard? I think I did one for Maurice Richard. I might have done two. Did I do Patrick Roy? I can't remember if I did that. But we'll figure out something. We'll do something cool like that. So here's what we're going to do tonight. And I think I even created a little preview thing. There we go. Look at that. Isn't that sharp? Pretty neat. So what we're going to do is go through the hockey news. Things have been kind of crazy, you know, over this last little while. Yeah, there's a bunch of hockey news going into the Olympic break. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the Canadiens mid-season, kind of like a reality check. Canadiens stock market. So this is where you have the opportunity to get your vote in. Do I still have that queued up? I might have it available to paste. If you haven't already got your vote in for the Canadian stock market in tier maker, yo, where is it? Come on, there we go. Here it is. We'll talk about what we think the lines are going to be like after the break with, you know, Line A coming back, Texier certainly coming back. Space heater's making it freaking hot in here. Then we'll talk about Bryce Pickford. Haven't really talked about him. Haven't talked about a lot of the prospects. something I do if I feel like the timing's right. But if you remember, I didn't talk about Demidov like at all until he arrived in Montreal. And then we will do some hot takes, some Q&A, and then I will recap my trip to Montreal. And it was a doozy, so you'll want to hang around with that. For that, the felony assault was dropped, still 3 charges. We will talk about that. That is bonkers. Oh yeah, and also somewhere in the show, I'm going to have a quick word from Slab Sharks. Like today's show is brought to you by Slab Sharks. So let's start with some hockey news around the league, because there's been quite a bit happening. And do I have a scene for that? I believe I do. Or is it this one? Doesn't matter. So, Brayden Point out. Seth Jarvis in. What do we think about that? Remember Seth Jarvis in the Four Nations? Was he utilized a lot? It's an interesting pick. But let me give you my 2 cents about this. So, Seth Jarvis will be replacing Brayden Point on Team Canada. My first reaction to that was, Jarvis fits really good in Team Canada. He's got a play style that is really strong for competitive hockey. He's fast. He forechecks hard. He's responsible defensively. And I think he's a good replacement to Brayden Point. He's not kind of the same pure finisher that Point is, but he brings a ton of energy on and off the ice. But still, all that said, I think I'd be lying to you if I didn't tell you that I had more impactful players being picked over Jarvis. And again, thinking about how much he was utilized in the Four Nations, I question this decision. So I kind of want to ask you all, because it seems like there's all sorts of opinions about this. What do you guys think? Does this even change Canada's lineup much? Or is it just a lateral move? Actually, you know what? Let's do a quick poll. How did the last poll? Grade Canadian season so far. So we think Canadian season so far is an A. Should have been Veleno. So true. Thank you, Vok. Yeah. So let's end this poll, and I'm going to put up another poll here. Just bear with me while I get this going, because I do have a question for you, and I think it's a saucy way to get you guys to get the juices flowing. I have some players in mind that would have been potentially my choices to replace Point. One of them might surprise you. And I'm going to put the poll up. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think in chat as well. Did he even play in the Four Nations? He did. They swapped a minute out there near the end, I believe. Jarvis, Horvath, Suzuki shutdown line. I like that. I do like that. I think he plays a couple more. Yeah. Ron Samuner. Absolutely insane. Bedard isn't at the Olympics. Would have been a fantastic third liner. Jarvis has had a great season. No problem with him being there. Would rather see Scheifele there, though. Scheifele for me was a great choice. Hello. Love the spelling choice on Hyman. Yeah. Oh, wait. Did I spell it wrong? Don't tell me. Oh, I did put Hyman. Oops. Sorry, I was doing that fast. You got to break them in, though. PK still got some legs. Get him out there. Hyman because McDavid is the straw that stirs the drink. The Olympic. Yeah, I thought about that too. And I think it's been brought up by analysts, and that makes a whole heck of a lot of sense. Oh, did they? I do not remember him being like used at all. Yep. I love Bedard, and he is an incredible player, but I just don't think you can replace Point with Bedard. Their play style is too different. Well said. Finally, they let me. Oh, yeah, that's true. You were having a problem with that. They know him. They're comfortable with him. Exactly. Break him in. Yeah, I know. Corny. Yeah, you're all falling kind of in the same area that I am. And it's sitting on the fence a little bit because I would have really liked to see Bedard, and there might be a day where in the future, just like Sidney Crosby not being selected when he had the opportunity to, we might be kicking ourselves not to have let Bedard participate in the Olympics this year. But Seth Jarvis is a good replacement, like a like-for-like model for Brayden Point. And if they're tailoring the team a specific way, it might make sense. There's another part of me that says Mark Scheifele does everything that Brayden Point does, but better. Maybe not defensively. Let's be honest, Team USA has done the legwork to make sure we have an easier road to the gold. Yeah, I think that they were their own worst enemies for a couple of things, but still, that is an incredible team. And the goaltending, all the goaltending has to do is steal any game. This is not a long tournament. I think you might have a point, but Point is way better defensively. Yeah. So I think we're kind of landing in the same spot with that. I still think it's interesting, and there's obviously a lot of chatter about Jarvis being selected over some of the other choices. And still, like I said, I feel like there could be a time in the future where we regret not taking Bedard. So while we're on Team Canada, the Olympic schedule has been released. Have you all seen this? There's only a few games posted so far. But Team Canada, early, man. You're going to be up at 6:10 a.m. to watch France versus Switzerland. On February 12th, Thursday, Team Canada plays Czechia at 10:40 a.m. That's not terrible. Not prime time. It's going to feel weird, like waking up and cracking a beer. If they play Binnington at all, the Olympics, in this Olympics, we riot. Only good game he's had all season was against us. I know. Yeah, the selection of Cirelli was bizarre. But yeah, Bennett will take over. Habs fan from Ohio rooting for the Seahawks because F word Boston. Oh, really? Oh, that's right. The Super Bowl weekend. That's exciting. Ignoring 55 is not liked, huh? Dressing rooms matter. That's true. I still call them Czech Republic. I'll say it. I'd love to see a Crosby, Suzuki, Marchand line at any point. Nick isn't quite Bergeron, but there are comparisons. Yeah, I wonder what the lines look like. Dang, we should have talked about that. Tournament is already rigged. Team Italy will win gold. Oh my gosh. I'm excited to see how Italy does. So is that correct in saying that Italy had the opportunity to buy to select heritage players? So players who have an Italian background but play in the NHL and were born in a different country? Yeah, agreed. North of 67. The night owls like me are going to hate this tournament. No kidding. Where do you think Suzuki going to play? Exactly. I don't know, but he's definitely, with Point moved out, he's definitely moving up. I hesitate to say that he'll be playing on a line higher than Bennett. Oh, yeah. Pacific. That's going to be rough watching the Olympics. The post-Olympic break runs that Cole and Lane... The post-Olympic break runs that Cole and Lane are going to go on will feed families. Yeah, I know. They're really going to have a bug up their butts in order to prove Team USA wrong, huh? I'm excited for this whole tournament. Crosby, McKinnon. Yeah, Crosby, McKinnon's a lock, right? Suzuki on wing with Sid would be insane. If Suzuki gets any time with Sid, even if they're stranded on a line change, I'm probably going to record those segments and do like a supercut. Does Italy have any NHLers? They have 0 NHLers. The ladies as well, yeah. I'm excited to watch the women's hockey. We have Canadian, Italian players. I think we are the home team advantage. I think they did, but chose not to go that route. Yeah, I feel like they chose not to go that route, which is respectable, but I just feel like they're going to get Team Italy is going to get their bums handed to them. I generally wonder how France even has an Olympic team when they have a single NHL player. I mean, I can only imagine the scoreline if they play against Team Canada. Yeah. What's the pathway to professional hockey from France? Like it's rare, right? Of course, there's Huet, Texier, but Texier, I believe, started playing in France, and then they must have been well off because I think they moved to, I don't know, somebody know? Sweden? Something like that, where he continued his career. And of course, they have incredible programs over there. Italy is going to play Phil Esposito. Suzuki should be on the third line. I kind of think he will be. Italy tried rigging the Olympics by replacing all of Team Canada's sticks with ones made of spaghetti. But they got mixed up and sent them to the Canadiens. Oh, I see. That's why the sticks are breaking. I too enjoy an owl aficionado. I look forward to seeing many superb owls this Sunday while bird watching Super Bowl. When's Canada's first game? Right here. Thursday, February 12th. 10:40 a.m. Eastern. Oh, Eastern. Yes. That's 11:40 my time. I'll take like an early lunch and watch the game. Yeah. Marie-Philippe Poulin is going to dominate. Yeah, Cristobal Huet was from France. I hope the American GM Shooter McGavin with Caulfield finish out of the medal rounds. It would be an all-timer. He played in Finland. There we go. I would move to Sweden if I had to live in France as well. Oh, dude. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So Thursday, February 12th at 10:40 a.m. Eastern. And then the next Canadian game, Friday, February 13th, 3:10 p.m. Eastern. And then finally, 10:40 once again on Sunday. So 3:40, or excuse me, 3:10, that'll be 4:10 my time. That's pretty decent. It's going to be good. Okay. Yeah, it's going to be fun seeing. So the first game is against Czechia, then it's against Switzerland, then against France. So the third game they play will be against France. Suzuki versus Texier. What happens if Texier comes in with a flying elbow on Suzuki? That's going to be awkward. All right, next. Artemi Panarin. Pretty big piece of news, obviously. One of the bigger trades that we've seen recently. So this thing shook things up a little bit in the league. Panarin was traded from the Rangers to the Kings. It's a huge move. Panarin is still one of the most skilled offensive players in the NHL, even at 34. He's been a point per game player. He's got elite vision, really good puck movement. And he drives the offense in most games for the Rangers. This season, was a good season. It wasn't a very good season for the Rangers. So looking back at this trade, I kind of see two things. The Rangers clearly entering some sort of a retool phase. We knew that was going to happen, as the season progressed. But you don't move a player like Panarin unless you're changing direction or reshaping the roster dramatically. At the same time, do you think that they were kind of quick to trade him in terms of the return that they got? Or do you think it was kind of indicative of what kind of market he was garnering? And then my second thought is the Kings obviously want to push to continue to stay relevant. It's kind of a win now type move, but not a very calculated one, in my opinion. When a team adds a player like Panarin, they're not thinking about, even 3 years down the road. They're thinking about the next 1 or 2 years, and that's what they signed him for. Which is kind of a weird move by him and his agent. It's really that he's investing in himself. He's confident in how well he will play in these next 1 to 2 years. But I just don't know if the Kings can pull a rabbit out of their hat right now. It feels like a big swing when they need, a big swing plus 1 or 2 more, or they need one or two of their players to really start taking off. So, am I hitting the nail on the head with any of that? What do you guys think? The Rangers aren't retooling their tools already. He wouldn't be good for our dressing room. No, there's the elephant in the room about elephant in the room. I don't know if that's how I wanted to phrase it, but the thing with Panarin is he got really lucky PR wise. How did he do that? He must have had Patrick Kane's agent, but he had an incident last season, right? Where, correct me if I'm wrong, he cornered a female employee for the Rangers, I think the social media manager, in a hotel room and advanced on her. Is that correct? Am I saying that correctly? So he's a person of interest. We're gonna talk about that. But do I have that right? Is Panarin like a suspect player? Or did that miss everybody? Because they were very quiet about that. They swept that under the carpet pretty quickly. He called out Putin then conveniently a few days after that story came out. Really? So that is accurate. Okay. I saw Hua scored. He's giving some big list energy. Panarin is all about the Benjamins. Yeah, well, okay. So it gets more interesting with Panarin. It comes out that Seattle offered him a longer term contract with more AAV. So Seattle, they're a little bit in the doldrums, and they want to establish themselves. They're probably not like killing it in their market right now. I think that they're among the lower teams in terms of return. So in terms of earning, and yeah, they need to make some moves in order to make their franchise fun again. So they were way closer to what the noise was saying about Panarin and what kind of contract he wanted. He wanted something close to 50, which I think was just a number that you put out there to say it's a number we'll never get. Well, but it's a number that will be like, okay, so if we're looking for him, we have to be serious about him. But yeah, he could have settled for going to Seattle and got his payday, but he went to LA. I don't know if he likes the big city life. Well, Seattle's a big enough city, but maybe he likes I think LA is closer to New York in terms of the big city life. So I know Sounders are bigger than the Kraken. That expansion was such a bust. Yeah, I just feel like this was kind of a rush trade, because I think that they saw that the market wasn't as great for Panarin as they envisioned, and he found the place that he wanted to go the most and just went for it. But I think the big question with any move like this is his age and the cap implications. So at 34, you're probably not getting better. You're getting the years that you have left, and you're squeezing the juice as much as possible. So if he starts to dip in production, going to a new market, playing a new system, I think he'll play well in that system. I think that it actually benefits him. Stylistically, Panarin, he plays a pretty structured game. And what the Kings lack is like creativity, a puck controlling forward that has high end playmaking ability, and that's what Panarin brings, right? So I just wonder if the way LA is tooled right now, how they their roster, how things are set up. You know, they went out, they got the worm, they got Armia in there, they have Kuzmenko, they got rid of Danault, which is weird because they're still looking for a center. I just think that there's a lot of holes, and they're banking a lot on Panarin, I think. So I'm curious, what do you guys think about this one? Hey, Wild Brick. Apparently not the first time with Panarin. With the funny business, really. I think he's betting on himself with short term as cap rises. Yeah, good, well said. So when he re-ups in 2 years, even if he's not killing it performance wise, they re-up him for the same percentage, and it's a raise. I have a feeling with this full new move clause, Panarin did not give them many options. He had Drury by the balls, and for a guy who already is not a good GM, he couldn't do anything else. Oh, dude. Yeah. Well said. Habs have a very cohesive locker room. Don't underestimate that. Hugo and Marty will not ruin that with a talented douche. Thank God. It's more important to winning franchises than he realizes. True. Maybe Jared McCann from Seattle. They don't have many high salary C guys and have $5 million cap space. Wait, who's the talented douche? Panarin? Or are we talking about O'Reilly? Because we're getting ahead of ourselves. Okay. Anyway, I think that trade is really interesting. I like Panarin as a player. I think that he punches above his weight class a lot. Yeah. And it was interesting they did it before the break. Were they worried that talks slowed down? Anyway, next story. And the next story is Elliot Friedman fuels Ryan O'Reilly trade talk with Montreal Canadiens. So it's when Elliot Friedman jumps on something, it immediately becomes valid news for me. I don't know if anybody else is like that. But he's brought Ryan O'Reilly up twice with the Canadiens with two different statements. And there's been a lot of chatter about Ryan O'Reilly to Montreal. So I have to take this seriously. The fit is so difficult for me. Very difficult for me. What's the big thing that slaps you in the face in terms of what Ryan O'Reilly brings to the Montreal Canadiens? Okay, he would be a good fit. Okay. Why would he be such a good fit? I think Pizza Man is a good enough veteran C. Size. So who leaves in that case? That's my point. His contract is not bad. That's true. And it's not for long. Left-handed center, great on draw, robust, productive, great cap hit. One more year, he's worth a lot. A late a late first A prospect. So cheap, and he makes the team better. O'Reilly would be a perfect 3C. It's just a matter of how many are we giving up for him. We don't need more depth. Face-off man, clutch. A lot of people don't consider anything but the stats. O'Reilly, I think Montreal is obviously interested, but it's a question of just how much of a premium they're willing to pay and how much Nashville wants or doesn't want to sell. Right now, I don't think Nashville's on the fence, right? They don't want to sell right now. Don't need more depth. Are we planning on going to the playoffs? Aren't we? Ever hear of injuries? I think he'd be a great fit, but I wouldn't be willing to pay the cost to bring him in. Left shot. Folks want flash and numbers without considering chemistry. He produces well in terms of points. He's a good physical presence, amazing two-way too. Everybody's saying all the right things. Who would you see Kapanen playing with instead of Slavin Demidov? It would be a shame to break up chemistry. We have a good young core and prospect pool. I wouldn't give out assets to get more vets to try and win sooner. Don't rush the process. Line A is highly unlikely to get moved. I wouldn't say that. For a B prospect, I would have like Hughes to make a move. I would have liked Hughes to make a move for Panarin. Really? Is our first line Veleno, O'Reilly, and Evans? Evans is a great fourth liner. Deneau is the veteran guy we need. Cap is doing great. Suzuki, enough said. How do you think Hage could introduce the team next year? So remind me again, could Hage play near the end of the year, and could he be a black ace in the playoffs? Yeah, but Corey Perry was cheap and arguably more made the team better. Yeah. O'Reilly is at a minimum a 3C, if not a 2C. He still has the talent to fit the top six. Are we agreed on one thing? O'Reilly over Coleman? O'Reilly didn't like the spotlight in Toronto. Keep that in mind. That's interesting. But okay, so the market, it's so like this is I totally don't understand how it is to be a professional hockey player and the pressures that brings. But does it make sense for me to say that the market in Toronto is like, this is a bias. This is for sure is biased, but everybody's saying it, and I think Toronto players are saying it. Toronto's market is negative. It's a negative market. In Montreal, it's critical, but when they're doing good, like they walk on air. They're sainted. They don't have to pay for a drink at the bar. They don't have to pay for a meal. It's different. I think, O'Reilly would be immediately taken with open arms if he were, or any player. Line A had that. Players like playing in Montreal, and now that Montreal is a destination spot because they're doing well, players want to play there. Players want to play there. Blake Coleman would be sick. Okay, what do I got to say about O'Reilly? This is a really interesting topic. So, obviously, what Elliot Friedman caught my attention. There's been a lot of talk about Ryan O'Reilly to the Canadiens. And my honest reaction is I understand certainly the leadership angle. I'm excited over that idea. And obviously, he brings a potentiality of a playoff culture with him. And he would bring that to the forward group. But what would be the plan for him? He's not expensive, doesn't have a scary length in his contract, and he fits in terms of being an immediate improvement to what we currently have going on. But he'd be butting out a player that potentially could be performing well to their own standards, like Jake Evans, for example. So, but yeah, Jake Evans is having probably not his best year ever. He played out of his mind when his contract was up. You'll all remember that. But it just reminds me that they're so ahead of schedule. And we say it so often, at least I say it so often, that they can be patient. There's players waiting in the wings. I see so many people online, so many fans online saying, Hage for X player, the wrong player. Sometimes people say the right things. Like, I think that Hage, being a young prospect, and you don't know where he's going to land, and you don't know how he's going to acclimate to the NHL, and there's still some dust to brush away there to see exactly what you have underneath. I just think that if you had the opportunity to trade Hage for a verified 1C, you would make that trade depending on what the ads are. So yeah, Thomas, I see Thomas being mentioned. Thanks for making awesome content. Certainly that you are from my hometown. Oh, you're a Monctoner, huh? Thank you. Is it Alexis or Alex is? Oh, that always messes me up, man. Like Alexis on fire. So what do we got going on here? Lots of chat. Oh my gosh, you guys are crazy in chat. Hage stays. I would really like to see what Hage turns out to be. The story is so compelling. I wouldn't be upset if we didn't buy this year. The most I would want maybe is a good 6th defenseman. So are you saying goodbye to Struble? I think regardless of whether he plays or not, if Hage chooses to be done with his college career, the Habs will sign him and burn that first year of the ELC. They're not afraid of doing that, obviously. Gesture of goodwill kind of thing. Agreed. Yeah, our bottom 6 is just fine. They had to nerf Montreal somehow. Did you get your Airbnb situation straightened out? We'll get to that near the end of the show. Shortcut to Moncton, big mistake. We need elites to stay at home. We need an elite stay at home D, second line C, and a right wing on the first line. Does O'Reilly or Coleman fit any of those three? Yeah. Not really. Wait, did we come to a conclusion on whether or not Hage can play later this season? I believe, yeah, he can. Do you like bacon on pizza? Yes, but not preferred. But who, though, against Hage? I feel like he could be an asset for a bigger trade, but Hage alone, I would keep him all day. Yeah, it's tough. Goodbye, Struble and Veleno. We need the sheriff in the playoffs. But is he going to play like it's the playoffs? Yes, he can if they sign him. Hughes previously said they'll leave that up to the player whether he wants to end his college career. Nice. And the hate in line A over here is hurting my feelings. I know. Oh, keeping the Airbnb story till the end. Great watch tactic. I know. Does everybody know what happened with the Airbnb that I stayed at in Montreal? It flooded. At 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 pipes burst. First pipe burst, it went poof, and then water started spraying out of it. I'm looking at it. It's in a recess in the wall. The recess in the wall where the pipes are, right next to it is the electrical box. Like the circuit breaker. And it's pissing water all over the electrical box. So I'm looking at it and I think I kind of have to leave because I might get electrocuted. And another pipe burst, a bigger burst, and water was hitting me in the face. Anyway, we'll talk about that later. I like Line A. I love Line A. Waterfalls, Airbnb, unannounced feature. Yeah, a bonus feature. I have Jack-Eye over Struble anytime. Jack-Eye provides a bigger, a non-redundant skill. Whiskey, what's happening with Patrick Laine as he has not been back and he was practicing and looking healthy? I know. I don't know if they're trying to like skate the line between whether or not he can return, or there's all sorts of tinfoil theories about exactly what's going on. Welcome, Honey 514. Thank you for becoming a member. Sounds like a house not built for the cold. The door in the Airbnb was closed. It was a laundry room and it was off the kitchen. It was not being heated, and there was a door for a back door for like a fire escape exit off the laundry room. So the cold air was coming in through that door. It was just so idiotic. We'll talk about it later. The win over the Habs was so nice. That's the game I went to. All right, are we done talking about O'Reilly? According to Elliot Friedman, the Habs have officially dipped their toes into the file to pry the center away from Nashville. Let's be honest, his Stanley Cup winning experience would do wonders for the locker room. Yeah, I didn't read this article. I just opened it so we could like make reference to it. He has different leadership. I wouldn't say he's the opposite of Suzuki because his work ethic is great, but I feel like he would be a more vocal leadership. He would be really good for the locker room. There's definitely a big part of me that likes it. This is like even reminds me a little bit like of Shea Weber, you know? So I don't know. There's something there that I like about it. Your trip to the Bell Center made me so tempted to buy tickets. I'm going to do a video about what I learned going to Montreal, and it doesn't need to be as expensive as I made it. I wanted to make sure that, well, gosh, we bought a cheap Airbnb. I still think I could have went cheaper. The problem was we were staying for 3 days. It doesn't need to be 3 days. I thought I would have to get acclimated to the city and understand. And, you know, I wanted to eat in a bunch of different places and try out a bunch of stuff and make a trip out of it. If I was just going for a game, I think that I could do it for kind of inexpensive. All right. Gavin McKenna. You guys hear about this guy? He's a hockey player, apparently. Prosecutors drop aggravated assault charge against Yukon hockey prospect McKenna. You guys hear about this one? Yeah, you hear about this one? Rick, thank you for joining. We should just keep Line A for the second power play, or if a player gets injured, who do we have to snipe on the left if Caulfield gets injured. If anybody on the team gets injured, it's over. No. So I off topic. We just got into a new topic and I'm already getting derailed. But I have a friend who is a fan of the Toronto Maple Leafs. I know. It's really weird. Anyway, he thinks that if Lane Hudson gets injured, like the next game, the Canadiens are not even making the playoffs. I resist that. Obviously, Lane Hudson has been so instrumental to the team's success. Sorry about your friend. Is he really your friend? Yeah, I don't know. He's a nice guy. He's just misdirected. Maybe it's a circumstance of his upbringing. Maybe his dad liked the Leafs or something like that. Anyway, I resist the statement that if Lane Hudson was injured, they would go on an epic losing streak. It's so not true. Their firepower has been incredible. All that would need to change is, and what's currently happening is, the goaltending is starting to even out a little bit. Imagine if they got decent goaltending for like 25% of the games that they lost. We'd have like a Avalanche record. Fair reason to unmatch. Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer for sure. Bro has TikTok hockey knowledge. All right, leave him alone. He fell on his head or something as a kid. Got kicked in the face by a horse. Genuinely like second on the league with Price and net. First in the league. Okay, yeah. Gavin McKenna. He's apparently pretty good at hockey. Gavin McKenna, 18, still faces charges in the U.S. of simple assault, harassment, and disorderly conduct. So everybody talking about this like they know what's going to happen, they're full of it. I think that we need to find out more. But originally he was being charged with aggravated assault. And there's so many rumors going around. I think that the favored rumor is that they went to a bar. He was attended by his parents or just his mother. There was a drunk 21-year-old guy at the bar and he was harassing them. He got kicked out of the bar. They proceeded to eat at the bar, or I don't know if it was like a pub or whatever. But eventually Gavin McKenna and his party leave the establishment and that guy is waiting for them. And he's making derogatory comments towards him, his family, his mother. And McKenna cold cocks him, puts him out 2 shots, apparently, breaks his jaw, damages his chiclets. And I don't know, it sounds like, I don't know. It sounds like this guy figured out that who Gavin McKenna is and says there's probably money here. So let's try to figure this out. Personally, I know that hockey has definitely a toxic culture and you can't just go walking around punching people in the face. But if that rumor is true, I am fully on his side with it. But I come from I'm old. So when you get into somebody's mom's face, let's say that is what happened, and start calling her things, and you get your jaw broken, that's you kind of, that's kind of had that one coming. Is that like a boomer take? That could be a boomer take. The problem is the police brought the charges, not the victim. So maybe they don't understand the whole. Okay, I see. I feel like his draft stock went up higher. Yeah, no kidding. A judge reviewed the footage and dropped the felony charges. The judge was the one that made the decision. Yeah, that's right. On CBC News, they said he did nothing wrong. They went as far as saying that. FAFO. Yeah, kind of. I'm down with McKenna's reaction. Sounds like FAFO. Yeah, that's just what I'm thinking. I mean, why would he just, unless he was also intoxicated, why would he just go after a guy? It being lessened from aggravated assault to simple assault is like, seems like that's not what happened. He didn't go after him. The guy, he was provoked. I occasionally have viewed Dangle. It's not passing a horrific car accident. You're not proud, but find it bizarrely interesting. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna come out with this. Steve Dangle. I remember starting doing hockey videos on YouTube, and I said to myself, I will never ever do entertaining, or I will never try to get my entertainment across like Steve Dangle does. He's like way too over the top. He's always screaming. I find it obnoxious, and I kind of appreciate it now. For one, it must be super difficult to work up that level of energy for the Toronto Maple Leafs, but just every single time that the Toronto Maple Leafs lose, he knows he has to go on camera and just have a meltdown. And I think that's hilarious, and he does a great job, and he is very entertaining. What he does incredible. And then his other stuff that he does when he's doing his podcast and whatnot, it's a lot more level-headed, and I really respect him. And yeah, I've come to really respect Steve Dangle. Yeah, his podcasts are less loud. Yeah, a lot of people are speaking like they know what really happened. There's not enough information available. Exactly right. We still have to wait. Yeah, I love him. He is on his own level. How did you make the name Whiskeyloung? So it's an old name. This originally I started YouTube as a content creator for the video game Battlefield, and my username on all online games for the longest time was Whiskeyloung, but that came from when I was in. Is there any kids might be watching this? When I was younger, I used to really like drinking whiskey, but I could drink a lot of it and not really feel drunk. Probably because I was a binge drinker. I now know the error in my ways. You shouldn't ever do that. It's bad for you. There should be no pride in being able to drink a lot of alcohol and have a really high tolerance, because you're ruining your body by doing it. Anyway, people used to joke saying that it's not going into my bloodstream because it's going into my lung. So that's how that came about. Is it really 3-3? Okay. Sounds like you were 60. No. Just like the entertainment guy looks like the hockey guy. Yeah. I really like the hockey guy too. So anyway, I think you still need to wait. People acting like they know what's going on with this. They do not know what's going on. The rumors are, they feel a little bit too sensational to be real. It might be his friends getting online and talking about the narrative and trying to shape it. We'll find out. And I have no idea what it could mean for his future. Something tells me that he'll find a way to pay himself out of the big trouble. All right. And now, are we moving on to the next segment? We are. The Montreal Canadiens mid-season reality check. Do I have a graphic for this? I don't think so. This? No. So where are Montreal in the standings? In a pretty good spot. However, this is the craziest year ever. I need a beer. Is it okay if I go get a beer? Do you mind? I might run an ad. Can I do that? I think I can do that. I'm going to go grab a cold pop. And I will be back shortly. All right, so I'll be right back. Back. I'm back. The Habs do lead the league in cuties. No way, Alex. So thank you so much, dude. Also, C91-year-old. Welcome to the community, the membership community. I hear noises. Mom, Dad, I hear noises in the wall. Big dono, yeah, huge. Everybody say thank you. I should set a goal. What could we do? 5 super chats in an hour. I will make my dog Finnegan make an appearance on stream. If we get $5 super chats or higher, I will go fetch my dog Finnegan. Thank you, Derek. Wait, are you Derek? Okay, where were we? Oh yeah, the Habs. So Montreal's doing not bad. They're second in the Atlantic. Welcome, Bot Shaffo. For that to happen, Buffalo had to lose, and I think Detroit had to lose their last games, right? And that's what happened. Buffalo, man. Do we talk about... Oh, nice. 2 donos already. Yay. What kind of dog? I don't know. He might be part Mogwai. Let's go doggo time. So Tampa is having another season, unfortunately. I wish, is this controversial? I wish Tampa was having the season that Toronto was. I wish Toronto and Tampa switched. You know why? I'm not really afraid of Toronto. Tampa, yeah. They have a playoff team. Toronto, well, you know, I think that they should have had the Panthers last season. They squeezed their sticks a little too hard. Tampa is scary, and they, you know, what happened last time. I don't like Tampa. There's players I like on Tampa. I like Point. You know? I like Cirelli. I like the Canadian players on Tampa, you know? Tampa owns us. Yeah, I know. We own Florida. Yep. Leafs are the smartest team in the league. Can't lose game 7 if you're not in the playoffs. But if you were to tell me that at the halfway point before, yes, another one. We just need 2 more. At the halfway point in the season, thank you, Red Irate Pirate. Wait, is that your name? How come it doesn't show your entire name? Is it censored? If you were to tell me at the halfway point before the Olympics, Montreal would be in second place in the Atlantic, I probably would have assumed Florida was ahead of them. First of all, I would be surprised that Montreal was in second. But Florida is dang well at the bottom of... They're at the very bottom of the Atlantic. But I would have assumed that they were above Montreal. And then if you were to tell me that Buffalo was nipping at our heels, I wouldn't have believed you. And Boston, what's Boston doing here? What are the Maple Leafs doing down there? It's just, this is totally Fruity Loops. And then this doesn't get very much better. Look at this. Pittsburgh Penguins, the only team that was sellers. Like they were saying, yeah, pack it in, guys. We need to get creative. It's not a rebuild, but it's not a retool. Maybe we'll figure something out along the way. And look, what in the heck? Islanders making something of it. Columbus, good for Columbus. But if you look at the wild card, they still have a ways to go. And if I were a betting man, Washington has a better chance. Have you guys seen all the discourse about Ottawa being favored to be in the playoffs? So what's that based around? Is it that Allmark is back now and he's going to be what they need to get the saves? Because I don't know. 12 overtime losses is, oh yeah, look at that. Jeepers. Even more than us. How many overtime losses does Colorado have? 9. 14. 66 points. Oh my gosh. If there wasn't a loser point, I haven't looked at this for a while. That is disgusting. Oh. As if I needed a reason to like the Knights less. Oh. 14. Top of the Pacific. Look at the Kraken. I was really pulling for San Jose. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? Winnipeg, man. Ugh. St. Louis. Anyway, bizarre season, but Montreal is doing fantastic. Way ahead of schedule. The patience that they could have being this far ahead of schedule, I think validates a lot of the protective GM choices for the team. So if they want to hold their cards close and if they only want to make deals that they can't possibly pass up, yeah, I have total faith in them. And like I said earlier in the show, Montreal is now a destination spot. People want to get in on this. It's maybe not. Yeah, you could call it the ground floor right now. And if it's a veteran presence, yeah, they could be selective about that. Just wait for Crosby. The Penguins can't stay this good. I joke, I kid a little bit. But yeah, like they don't need to take Ryan O'Reilly. They don't need to go for a Blake Coleman. They don't need Nazem Kadri. They have time. And I think that they will take the time. And in a way, they owe it to themselves to see what those young players waiting in the wings have to offer the team. But Montreal, odds in Vegas are they're definitely going to the playoffs. They just need to hang on. Barring something catastrophic, knocking on wood, can you hear that? They're going to the playoffs this year, and who do you want them to face off against? Right now, if they went, it would be Montreal and Detroit. How do you like that matchup? put up a quick poll here. Montreal versus Detroit. Round 1. Who wins? Montreal, Detroit. Feed me your answers. Picture what this game would look like. Picture all the big pieces. Who is a clutch Detroit player? Want to look at their lineup? What's your opinion on Mo Seider? Oh, excuse me. Marco Casper, Dylan Larkin, Lucas Raymond, DeBrincat, Kopp, Patrick Kane, Emmett Finney. He was interesting to watch there for a while. Confer, Appleton, Soderblom, Rasmussen, JVR. Is JVR doing all right? Jacob Bernard Docker. Oh wow. Mo Seider, Sherrod, Sandine Pellikka, Johansson, Hamonic, man, sticking around. Oh. When these guys are clicking, look at this power play unit. That reminds me of our power play unit a little bit. But I don't watch Detroit very often. I don't know how they play. DeBrincat is obviously a Cole Caulfield type player in stature. And he's got a shot, right? Seider is I hate to admit it because I was a doubter, but he's got quite the set of skills. I wouldn't say I was wrong about him. I just find that I don't like how he plays. He's not mopey, but he shows his discouragement. He gets frustrated, and he does, like, I'm thinking of a couple of specific incidents where he's been a little bit of a baby. 92%. We are confident. How many games Habs won season against Detroit? How many times did they play them? Montreal schedule. It's probably an easier way to do this. Oops. Red Wings. Okay, so they beat them 4-0. The Red Wings did. They only played once? Am I missing something here? Yeah, I think they only played them once, huh? Is that the game where Petrie freaking scored? Raymond, Larkin, Andrew Kopp, DeBrincat. Second game of the season was Detroit. Oh. Sure? I think this is preseason, right? Preseason. Oh, here it is. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I didn't go far back enough. I thought this gap was indicating that this was preseason. 5-1. Oh, they kicked their butts this time. Oh, yeah, that's right. Remember, Larkin scored and he was like, yeah, ah, yeah. and the Canadiens scored 5 goals. I forgot about that. And that's when the coach had like he like tore into them. I think Gibson had like a really bad game. Yeah, it was Gibson. Yeah. Yeah, I could watch my recap. Man, I make a lot of videos, eh? I forgot about that thumbnail. Oh. Bro, this thumbnail. Yikes. I should almost have like thumbnails that always indicate what game it is, or either that or like name the video with who they played, because I can't really tell. This one? Yep, this is it. Hello? After just one game, a lot of people are already forming their opinions about Patrik Laine. But when this happens, I like to hear what Martin St. Louis has to say, because he usually puts things into perspective. Let's see what he has to say.
But, you know, we want to be coming in waves. And when Patty shows that, it allows us to come in waves.
What I think he's trying to say there is when Patrik Laine is playing his best, the team plays their best. I think he played a pretty good game last night. Let's see if tonight he can do even better. The Montreal Canadiens are in Detroit playing the Detroit Red Wings. Let's talk about it.
I only shoot and score. Then if you score, then we'll come.
If you're a Habs fan, yo.
Kane flips it right in front. Score.
Watch Larkin, West Larkin. Power play goal, Larkin scoring on this one.
At the goal line. Kane flips it right in front. Score. Larkin.
Power play goal. The biggest celly in the world. And then 5 goals. Yo, Freddie. Or Fred Desty. Fred. Hey, Fred. We are talking about Montreal's place in the standings currently, and whether or not Montreal versus Detroit in the playoffs would be a series we would like to play. And we got kind of off track, and we started watching the video of Montreal versus Detroit early in this season. So let's put this back on track, and I'll give you my opinion about what this series would look like. There's part of me that worries that Detroit is actually configured to be a stronger playoff team. But I think if Montreal faced Detroit in the playoffs, they would rise to the occasion. I think that the talent on Montreal is better, more depth, and more. What's the word I'm looking for? More scoring potential. In terms of defense, I think that if they played to their game, their defensive game, they would be able to shut down Detroit as long as the goaltending was there. Oh, Buffalo's going to run the Central. You think Montreal in 7? It could get deep like that. It could get deep like that. Yeah, it would be an interesting series. Puppy time, I know. Should I go get Finnegan right away? I'm gonna go get my dog. Just 1 second. He smells awful. Needs a bath. He's got like eye cruts. Ugh. Are you eating Cheetos? You smell terrible. Poor little guy. I woke him up. Look, Finn. He looks really impressed by all this. He does, eh? He's got the same like little mustache. How old is he? 3, 4? Oh. He just ate a bunch of zesty Doritos, it smells like. Bro, are you going to fall asleep like right in my arms? He looks cranky. Yeah, I don't know. Dogs just like, they see you for so long and they're like, must be like whatever chameleons have in them that makes them look like their owners. All right, Finnegan, you're falling asleep, bud. You want to go back to bed? All right, I'm going to take him back to bed. All right. Finn has gone. He's been returned back to his nest. He will continue stinking up his bed like with Dorito farts. Yeah, so I think that Montreal and Detroit is a desirable matchup. I prefer it over Boston. Definitely prefer it over Tampa Bay. Yeah, geez. Carolina's, oh man, I don't know. I might give our opponents too much credit. Detroit might be my favorite matchup. If Montreal fell to like a wild card spot and went up against Carolina, it could be interesting. Carolina can go deep, but like I don't know what they're missing. They're just not it. They need Kotkaniemi off that team. Boston would be insane. It would be. Boston's turning into the big bad Bruins again, though. So that's what worries me. Jack Eye would need to be on call. That would be a series that you wouldn't mind O'Reilly being picked up. I think that it might be Hockey Junkie influencing me a little bit, but I do worry about Montreal's size and how physical they are. The best path Montreal, honestly, through the WC Metro is almost as bad as the Pacific. Yeah, you think? I don't know. Sometimes they play so bad against the Penguins, though, North. You think so? Same with the... I find that Montreal plays down to their opponents. They almost play better against better teams, like Florida, like Colorado. And back to my point about their physicality in the playoffs. That was the problem with the Capitals. Like, right? That's what everybody says. I maintain that series was way closer than it ended up being. Oh my God! Oh, back first goal since November 15th. Key Ripes. Poly Games. Yeah, Junkie is just, he's a real gem. He's so quick-witted too, like just like normally. But his video production, he inspired me to get started doing hockey stuff. His humor is fantastic. Yeah. Bring back the 1-8 playoffs. I know. it would make things way wilder. Like, there's not much that actually changes in a 1v8 format. No? Oh, maybe you're right. Anyway, I'm really just like sitting here and like observing this and like making my own notes in my head. But we should move on. Anyway, Montreal doing really well. They just need to finish strong. And is this where I talk about how they're going to return from the Olympics? I don't know if it is. I'm just going to go through what I wrote down here. If you look at the standings, you should be satisfied where Montreal is, obviously. If you told me at the start of the season that in February they'd have 72 points, I'd have been thrilled with that. I think the biggest positive this season has been the growth of the young core. That's really what matters in a year like this, where, again, you can afford to keep being patient, keep watching your team develop, keep watching them grow. They're creating relationships, and these guys, we have some good guys, man. Hockey nerds. Lane Hudson, hockey nerd. Nick Suzuki, hockey nerd. Demidov, hockey nerd. They want to get better, and you can't keep them away from the ice. So that brings me to my next poll that I wanted to give you guys. Of the following players on the team, who has proven themselves most so far this year? So let me put this up. Everybody, 94% of you guys think that Montreal would take a series against Detroit, by the way. Love that. So I'm going to throw some names in here. The last name I kind of threw in there. It's just kind of cheeky, but could be the right answer, honestly. So, of the following players on the team, who has proven themselves most this year? Lane Hudson, Cole Caulfield, Juraj Slafkovsky, or Oliver Kapanen? Zero for Kapanen? Okay, there we go. You know who's really, really hot on Oliver Kapanen, and who I really, really respect his opinion on, is Grant McKegg, former scout. His takes are so close to mine every single time. I love what he says. He makes so much good sense. I feel like you could do a playoff pool with the community whiskey. Yes, I've thought about this before. I wish there was. I think there actually is a playoff pool platform where you can do like hundreds of poolers, and I don't think it's that expensive. It's something that I could look at. I don't know. Only defenseman to ever score a Hattie in the SCF. Who are we talking about? Who scored a Hattie in the Stanley Cup Finals? Oh, Desjardins. The Olympic predictions? We didn't talk about the Olympic predictions. We talked about the Olympics, though. My prediction is that Canada is going to run away with it, but I think that the teams are the competition is narrowing. Like, it's Canada's. I wouldn't say Canada's hockey system is getting worse, but other countries are catching up. And Canada's, it's very expensive in Canada. It's just like every other country. But I don't know. It's a big topic. I think that there's something about the social, the economic climate in Canada, and where you live, and all that plays into it. And it's a big topic that I'm not equipped to talk about. Of course, we were just talking about crystal ball. I think America has a good shot against Canada, to be honest. I think so too. I just feel like the players on Canada are not going to let the team lose against Team USA, and yeah, I don't know. What are the odds of Caulfield recreating the Phil Kessel tweet if Canada wins the final? Yeah, that'd be great. As a Canadian, I want to see Slovakia win it. Also, another thing in Canada, not many goalies coming up that are A+. Absolutely correct. A theory that I had is that if your young son is in hockey and the coaches identify them as a strong skater, they will put them into a player role before suggesting going to goaltending. And goaltending is an unpopular role with parents because it is more expensive, and it's probably not a role that. It's weird because when I was a kid, you wanted to be a goaltender because there were so many goaltender role models to look after, and I'm not sure if that's still happening. I think talking to some of the kids that are in the hockey system, asking them who their favorite player is right now, like younger kids, Connor Bedard. They're all saying Connor Bedard, and I think that'll probably actually shift soon to being Macklin Celebrini. But yeah, the kids like the player roles. But I remember being a kid and having a bunch of friends that wanted to be goaltenders. They couldn't all be goaltenders, and I wanted to be a goaltender, and they wouldn't let me. They wanted me to play a player role, and it was expensive to be a goaltender. I think my mom actually kind of said, he wants to be a goaltender, but I don't want to spend that much money. And I got a bunch of secondhand gear, and yeah, that's how that happened. So of the following players on the team, who has proven themselves the most this year? The consensus is Juraj Slafkovsky, and I agree. Lane Hudson, he proved himself in his Calder year. Cole Caulfield, we knew that he's been talented this entire time. His biggest gripe, or his biggest critics were saying that he's the best 30 goal scorer that's never scored 30 goals, and then the best 40 goal scorer that's never scored 40 goals. What's he on trend for right now? Actually, NHL stats. I think that I love that for Cole Caulfield. He is proving himself in that respect. But for me, nobody compares to Uri Slafkovsky, who is being so physical, edging out his opponents, using his big frame. And not just that, good skating, good, not great, good puck handling, good puck protection skills, good passing, really good passing. He looks so much better than he did last year, and near the end of the last year, he looked really good, but just such an improvement, really proving himself. He said that he wanted to be more like Brady Tkachuk. I don't know if he models his game after Brady Tkachuk. I tend to think no, because if you watch Brady Tkachuk, he's one-dimensional, but he's really got the power forward thing nailed down. Come on. $37 points, 45 points, 37 games, 57 games. Dang. Kachuk's a point per game player, huh? 21 goals, 14. Got 20 extra games on him. And I mean, Tkachuk is, he's playing left wing, big minutes. Yeah, 17 minutes a game. Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting comparison. I think that Tkachuk is very good at what he does. I think he's overrated at times, but yeah, I could see that for Slafkovsky. Anyway, I really like Slafkovsky's game this season. Wait, minus 61? Oh my gosh. How? They could just not... They ruin goaltenders in Ottawa, don't they? What's Alex saying? He is John LeClaire more than Brady. I love that. Yeah, I don't think that Slafkovsky should try to be Brady Tkachuk. He's got different tools than he does. Yeah, that is bad. I chose Hudson because he proved that he can be solid defensively this year. Yeah. The only thing that bugs me about Hudson's defensive game is when he gets overpowered at the blue line, and the fact that you don't necessarily love to see Hudson having to defend in front of the net. Ottawa has been bad for a while. Yeah, no kidding. John, who's big? You're my biggest fan? Why would you be my biggest fan? That's weird. I'm just a bum. Ottawa started their rebuild before Montreal, and they still have a rough part of they're still in a rough part of the rebuild. Yep. But as long as we're talking about that, I can't believe the struggles that Buffalo had to go through to get to where they are right now. Cole Caulfield, 32 goals, tied for third in the league, amongst the likes of Morgan Geekie, the biggest natural goal scorer in the NHL. Matt Boldy, Jason Robertson, man, Matt Boldy, Robertson, Kaprizov, no big deal. 32 goals, same as a guy who's getting paid $16 million a year. Connor McDavid, I've heard about him. Nathan McKenna. Wow. 40 goals, eh? David's just heating up, though. Holy smokes, he's heating up. McKinnon's like, dang, I might do it this year. I might be the points leader. And McDavid's like, just 1 second while I get 4 goals or 4 points a game in every other game. Brandon Bussey. He's got like a calming face. I want to draw this guy. Got a loose hair right here. As if the photographer didn't. That would be so easy to crop out. Wow. Okay, getting off topic. So what's next? Here's where I talk about it. The Olympic break might help this team or it might hurt it. Younger teams benefit from rest more than veteran teams sometimes, but I think Montreal is a team that benefits from being warmed up. Still, the break last year for the Four Nations did wonders for the Montreal Canadiens. So I'm really undecided about whether or not this Olympic break is going to be good for them. It definitely puts a pause on things. What I was thinking about before Montembeault, when Montembeault was having all that trouble, and before the last game where he came out and played wonderfully, I wondered at the time if the Olympic break was going to help him out like tremendously, getting that break. But it looks like he's set his train back on the tracks, and hopefully that continues. And you know, a lot of people are crediting the goalie coach for setting things straight. Hey, Kaya. And I don't know. Maybe that is it. I don't think so. But would anyone trade Hudson for Hughes 1-for-1? No way. Chat, if Whiskeyloung had a partner in crime, what would they be called? Oh my God. Cannabis liver. Oh no. I have a rival in my corny jokes. For $5 million a year, Hughes, I'd take. Oh. 5-4. Laval wins it in OT. Del Gaizo. Tic-tac-toe goal. Nice. Galley is going to sleep like an absolute baby on this break. Oh, that's true. He's going to let those old bones rest. He's going to come back all like in ship shape. Galley going to be cashing in his pension check. Known Leafs fan cannabis liver. No one is a bigger Habs fan than that in Australia than me. Yeah, no kidding. We've got, you know, you're in good company though. There's a couple Australian fans in the community. Okay, so let's move on. Oh, also, I wanted to mention, I would not be surprised if they did make a move after the break. Although I think it benefits them to stay patient. And if you've heard Gorton's Jeff Gorton patience. Emphasize that he was no, that's not it. No, 2021. He made a statement recently that that Hughes is doing his job and calling around about trades and seeing if there's something out there that they can't possibly pass up, but they also don't need to do anything. But if you've been around long enough following hockey as intently as I have, they say that so that if there is a deal in the works, they're not being like, we desperately need somebody. Like we would really want somebody. So you don't think that if Laine moves, it will be like a hockey trade? Yeah, I can't see it. I cannot see that. Okay, what's next? Laine does come in waves. We've learned that. So this is the segment that I'm calling Canadian Stock Market. So I'm going to go over in tier maker. I did not rehearse this, unfortunately for you, so I'm going to fumble my way through this. Just kidding. But we're going to say, and this is my thinking on this. I left it open for you guys to make your votes. And by the way, if you haven't already made your votes, I'm going to copy this, put it in chat. You can vote in tier maker. And the way that I thought I approached this was at the start of the year, I had expectations for all of these players, or maybe they joined halfway through the season. Or wait, is Texier here? Oh, Texier is not here. Dang it. That's okay. I'm going to place the players dependent on whether or not their stock has risen or has it decreased, and how badly has it risen or decreased. So let's start with Josh Stone Henderson. He recently had a really good game, and there's some things that I realized about Anderson. He provides things on this team that you don't really have on the team, except for maybe if you want to go to the back end. But he's got incredible speed, and he is an incredible penalty killer. Maybe not as good as he was last year, but I think that was a compliment to Armia and maybe a little bit David Savard. So I'm going to put him at a moderate increase. Sammy Blais. I thought that he was just an acquirement for injuries, and that's truly what he has become. But he blew away my expectations with his doggedness. Like, he's just very tenacious. And I say that he improved his stock on the Montreal Canadiens, and just seeing the general consensus online about Sammy Blais, people love him. People think that he should be getting the opportunity above Veleno, certainly. But I think that he could fight for other individuals' roles. When Gallagher was having down moments in his season, I wondered what Sammy Blais would look like as a Gallagher replacement. Zach Bolduc. I'm going to put moderate decrease because he hasn't had really the opportunity. There's part of me that says sell. Because he looked like a forward with edge on the Blues. And I thought that he was going to contribute in kind of a manic, energetic, think second type way. And I don't know if the coaching has gotten into his head, but he does not look at all as effective as he did before. And yes, I'm seeing Sammy Blais good for playoffs. Agreed. I wish that it's weird because he does forecheck really strong. Is it that? And I've seen people say that his timing, he gets unlucky, but you can't get unlucky all the time. And he did start really strong. Remember, he was scoring a lot, and it looked like he had quite the shot. So I don't think that the chemistry is there yet, and I think that we still owe him time to find it. But I will say he has fallen a little bit below my expectations, and that's a little bit my fault because I don't think that I should have had those types of expectations to begin with, maybe. Carrier. I'm going to put him at moderate decrease. It's pretty obvious that he might have come in last season really above expected returns as far as the stock market goes, but he is not having that type of season that he did last year. He hasn't been a game changer for the Montreal Canadiens because he's just been here this season. He hasn't been implemented to the team, and he does get caught a lot. And what was really apparent to me about Carrier when I went to see the Canadiens play live is he does not protect himself, and he's slower on the puck. So he gets hit to make a play. But man, his head is getting rattled off the boards a lot. He's got to be quicker with the puck. He's got to make faster decisions. Just not talking about transitional plays. He has started to lose his guys, and I don't like that. Yeah, it's making him look bad, and everybody's noticing, and people are getting loud. So hopefully he can refine his game. A lot of people are saying that hit from Tom Wilson is what scattered his brains, and he hasn't been the same since. I don't think that's what it is. He's just having an off year. I don't know. Caulfield. He's having his best season yet, right? He's an obvious buy. These are the types of players that you can't get in the NHL. You end up with them and you keep them no matter what. I don't see his stock going down for a very long time, and he might be my favorite player on the team. He has been previously, but I love watching Suzuki when he's playing well, and we'll talk about that. Kirby Dach. Oh man, this is my first tough one because I really like what I'm seeing since he's been back. But if you're talking about the general market, I actually think there's a moderate increase. I think that he has some market value. And we'll talk about it a little bit more when we talk about lines. But I think that he deserves a little bit longer to prove himself. With Suzuki and Caulfield, if they can afford that. Texier, I think statistically, has been much better. Not much better. A bit better than Dach has been on that first line. But I don't know. He is stuck at 1 HP too. It's you really have to, like, as soon as the game starts, he needs to chug a potion. So they need to like get a goal, and his HP goes up just like a little bit. We don't have 13 forwards better than him. Yeah. Doc is great, but he's always on the verge of dying. I know, he's made of glass. Dobesh. I mean, both the goaltenders are just doing awful. Recently, not so much recently, but look at their stats. That's not awful. It's not good. Ugh. Yeah, that's easy. Moderate decrease. Gosh, I would put... But we don't want to sell them. I'm going to put them there just because that's too drastic. Dobson. Oof. $9.5 million. This contract is already a great value. Is it 9.5? Yeah, 9.5, right? Yeah, it's a great value. You can't... Why would you move him? Why did they do that? They just wanted to tank, right? No, wait. It was a... Why did they move him? Doesn't make sense. They're so... That was such a dumb move. And how's Heineman doing? He was doing fantastic. Hmm. 15 goals, not bad, but... I mean... Yeah, this is just a stupid trade for the Islanders. I don't know why they did that. They gave away like one of the top top 15. I think that's conservative. Top 15 best offensive demon in the league. Where does he land in terms of points? The thing with Dobson and Hudson is they both kind of have to fight for their own points, right? Stats. No Dobson, 18th. But some of these players are like Evan Bouchard. That's, you know, he's a mechanism for Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid, right? Like, yeah, some of these players I would not put above Dobson in terms of desirability. Jackson Lacombe, he's doing it. He's making that contract make a little bit of sense, huh? The league. Hey, Hellrost, thank you for becoming a member. All right, let's get back to this here. Ivan Demidov, just a complete bust. I can't believe that we hyped this guy up this much. Falling all over the place. He breaks his sticks. He doesn't know how to not break his stick. What is his problem? So self-assured too. Like I can't believe we fell for it. Just kidding. He has a bright future ahead of him. It is bonkers that we were able to get him 5th. You think Roy didn't like Dobson? The man who has broken 200 sticks this year. Warrior sticks. Did anybody catch that? Oh my gosh. Philip Deneau.
Euh, 82 bâtons par année, je te dirais. Peut-être 90, parce que des fois, j'en pète 2 pendant la game, mais j'ai pas le choix avec toutes les face-offs puis toutes les face-offs que je prends. Donc, ils deviennent maganés assez vite, mettons. Puis toujours le fun d'avoir un fresh stick. Là. Salut gang, ici Philippe Dano. On tape les bâtons aujourd'hui. Warrior. Commencer par...
Warrior. His stick is Warrior. Do you think that Warrior was like, God, guys, we're getting really raked over the coals here. Do you think that your media team can do a short video about how we have good sticks?
Couper ça. Toujours ici. Je pourrais prendre un crayon. Je vais glacier. Mais c'est égal, ce bâton-là.
Oh, that was loud. I love that he's back. I think Matheson and Demidov both have Warrior sticks as well. Exactly. Demidov, Matheson, and someone else. Anyway, Demidov and Matheson breaks an incredible amount of sticks. Just a bonkers amount of sticks. And I've seen a couple of different industry insiders talking about it. And one of the things that I kind of thought was interesting is stick manufacturers will sometimes make a bad batch and then recall them. But that doesn't seem to be... Do they want to maybe look into that? Is this like a bad batch type issue? Doesn't Caulfield have Warrior? NHL Players Gear. Gear Geek. Bauer, Pulse. It's crazy how Warrior cropped up and they're like gaining some sort of a relevance. 6. Anderson, Bolduc, Carrier. Oh wait, no, sorry. Carrier, Deneau, Demidov, Evans, Gallagher, Matheson. Gallagher's broken a few recently. Dang. Okay, does he break them? I don't think he does. He doesn't shoot an incredible amount. Evans? Yeah, I think I remember Evans breaking a couple. Yeah, anyway, that's a fun conversation. All right. Evans. He's having a moderate decrease, isn't he? That contract that he was looking to get, even though he took a team-friendly contract in the end anyway, he's never played like that again. Remember, he got signed, and then I think immediately after he was signed, he lost some of his luster. I mean, he wasn't blowing it out of the water completely, but he was still having a really good little stint there before his contract. Bonjour, hello. Manches-tu? Qu'est-ce qui arrive? Jake Evans. Why? Why is this not working? Yo. Uh-oh. Jake Evans' player page is down. You know what that means? He's being traded. They're obviously just having problems. 36 points? Wow. Okay. Yeah, not quite the... Gonna finish with like 26. No, less than that. He was injured for some games, wasn't he? Yep. Yeah, not having the year that he was last season. And then Gallagher. Do I have to put anybody in sell? I don't think I'll put Gallagher in sell. And we saw glimpses of the Renaissance the other night, his 3-point game. He's still trying his butt off, and he also has had to move around a lot on the lines, and he's had to try to make things work a lot. Hasn't found chemistry with individuals who he's been playing with. So I think that give him a little bit more time with Danault, and I don't know. We'll see what happens. Gooley, is this just me? He's not playing the way that I want to. Oh my gosh. Radic, thank you so much. $20 in Euro monies. That's a lot of monies, I think. Thank you. Yeah, what's going on with Gooley? Also, I could see Gally being assistant coach in 2 to 3 years. He's got the spirit of it. Night, Whiskey. Night, Ben. Why buy out a usable player for nothing? That's the definition of asset mismanagement. Yeah, I don't like the buyout idea. One guy I want gone, and I might be biased as Struble. So inconsistent. I know. He had a good game, though, his last game. You think Gooley came back too early? I'm interested in that. Yeah. Maybe. I don't hate that idea. Anyway, let's keep moving. Hudson up there. I was supposed to be done at 11. This is always what happens. How many people we got watching right now? 82 people? Holy criminy. 1,245 views. Oh my gosh. Another donation. US dollars. Where are you guys getting all this money? Thank you. $32 Canadian? Oh my gosh. That's bonkers. Thank you guys. Thank you, Steve. Use Florian instead. You can't rely on washed up players year after year. You need to build new character. Guys like Florian will absolutely. It's something that is that I don't think about anymore. I was thinking about it a lot last season. They got to get their prospects. These are NHL caliber players. They have to get them up and showcase them and get them acclimated to the league. The produce is all going rotten. They need to get it off the shelves. I don't know. That kind of drives me nuts. Oliver Kapanen. I'd say if you're talking about the start of the year, hell, Ross, what the heck? Is that real money? Yo, guys, what is going on? This is bonkers. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. $50 US. That's going to pay my mortgage. Why US dollars? Can you only donate in US? You can't donate in CAD? US dollars to Canadian. Yeah, that'll pay for my mortgage and my igloo. What was I saying? Yeah, you guys are too good to me. Kapanen. Yeah, I think that the league is on check, and probably a lot of teams overvalue him, seeing how he's producing. There's a lot of individuals who think that he is just a method for Yuri Slafkovsky and Ivan Demidov to put pucks inside the net. But he is so much more than that. And he really does, I believe, have a strong hockey IQ, and he's good on both sides of the puck. So he's a very valuable player. The return on investment for Kapanen has been tremendous. What is surprising for me about his development on the team is they trusted him so quickly, where a lot of the times they don't build trust in the players quickly at all. You get your opportunity, and if you make 1, 2, 3 mistakes, like Bolduc, you can get sent to the shadow realm. So it's he gets his opportunities. Yeah, he makes mistakes. But yeah, I think that he's got a really good computer, like Martin St. Louis says. He's calculated. He does really well playing both sides of the puck. Patrick Laine. I really like it. I'll preface this. I really like Patrick Laine, but I don't know how he fits the chemistry of this team unless they give him another opportunity in the top 6 and he says, hey, first season I was playing injured. Second season, yeah, I got to practice. I felt the best that I had ever felt. But when it came to game time, I had a sports hernia, and I was misdiagnosing. What the heck? 50 more of the Eurobucks? Yo. If Laine could be fast and hit, yes. Thank you so much. Radek, oh my gosh, you are bonkers, dude. North of 67. Cheers, buddy. You deserve every bit of the success. Keep it up. Excellent content. Oh, jeez. I'm in shock. Thank you guys so much. This is huge. Yes, everybody, check out North of 67 Hockey on YouTube. His videos are impeccable. Just a stream of good takes, way more elegant with speaking than I am. So if you get bugged by my stuttering and how often in my videos I have to do cuts, North of 67 is way more elegant with his speaking than I am. 6 months of Igloo mortgage. Oh my gosh. I could buy a new dog sled. Imagine everybody does like what's that, a chargeback? I've always wondered if that, do you ever see like somebody streaming and it's just like a guy like going through like TikTok videos or watching videos and reacting to them, and in the live stream people are donating like literally thousands of dollars, and he's like, thanks for the dono, thanks for the dono, thanks for the dono. And yeah, anyway, wow, I'm blown away. No problem, buddy. All right, let's try to finish this off. Oh, I didn't stop my conversation. I didn't finish my thought on Line A. So this is a team where it's you have to at least hit you have to be good at everything. And Patrick Laine has some holes in his game, and that's just it. Say what you will about Cole Caulfield and his ability to defend. He's been good with his stick lately. And when he wants to, he's actually really hard to play against physically. Patrick Laine, geez, man, I hate to say it, but I don't think I've ever seen him being hard to play against. You know what I mean? And I love when he comes into the zone. I love when he carries the puck into the zone and he has that weird stride that gets him all over the ice. He's got a huge stick that he can get in all sorts of different ways and protect the puck. And he can be really good at protecting the puck, and he's good at handling, and his shot is bonkers. It can be just an insane weapon. But when he was so effective, when he was the power play machine, it became stagnant. It became something that the teams could predict, and he wasn't as effective anymore. And yeah, I just worry about how he doesn't have all the tools that he needs to be an effective player on this type of team. He might be great on a team that is maybe in a rebuild, and as long as he really needs to learn how to back check and play in the defensive zone. Mike Matheson, I don't care. I'm putting him in buy. It's crazy the minutes this guy puts up. He is so important to the team. If he is gone, and he was gone for a few games, I think they played one game pretty good, but then there was some panic that Mike Matheson wasn't soaking up those minutes. Lane Hudson was having to do a lot of work, and Lane Hudson does not play the same defensive game as Mike Matheson. It's a game of keep away and a game of being tenacious for the puck and not allowing puck carriers into the zone unmolested. I don't like using the word unmolested, but that's what came into my mind at the time. So, and then Mike Matheson, poor guy, because he has a lot of offensive talents. That's kind of taken the back burner for him. And instead, he is doing a great job on the penalty kill, although the penalty kill is suffering a little bit this season. So, yeah. I really want to keep moving on because it's getting close to 12 o'clock, and that was my hard time to finish. Alex Newhook, I think that he had a great season. I would have loved for him to have continued it. That injury is rough. Where is his stats at? Yeah, 6 goals, 6 assists, 12 points in 17 games. 5 points away from being a point per game player. He was really having one, and geez, yeah, that's rough, man. Slavkovsky, bye. Struble, I'm not gonna put him in sell. We talked about Slavkovsky, that's why I just put him up there. Struble does have some chemistry with Caulfield. I just don't think that's it, man. Like, I don't think that that's what they want to do. No, Newhook is not stagnant. Well, he's stagnant because he's not playing. But he was trending towards a better year than he's ever had, I think. Oh, yeah. Heck yeah. Well. Yeah, he would have had a great year. Where was I? Newhook. Oh, Struble. Yeah, he has too much holes in his defensive game. But he's definitely identified himself as an NHL caliber defenseman. I think he has value. So that's more than the value he had 2 seasons ago. Suzuki, again, on pace for a record-breaking year. Don't think that there's a lot that has to be said there, although there was times where it definitely looked like he was playing injured this season, right? And I think he admitted that he was playing injured. Wasn't he? Maybe it was in an interview. It was an interview with a female journalist. He said that he had been playing injured this season, I think. And I think they were talking about the Olympics, but that he was feeling good now. Oh, no. No. Okay, I thought it would be all wiped. Veleno. I think I will put him in sell. And I mean, there's things that they saw in him that I just don't understand. -8, 2 goals, 2 assists. Wait, this doesn't even do it justice. Uh, 49 games, 4 points, -8. 12 minutes a night. Shooting percentage 4%. Oh, face-off 51%. He had tools that made him useful, like he played the PK, right? But there's better options on the team. Like, why was he getting anyway? Jack-Eye, yeah, there was a couple games there, and I even made comments about it in my videos where I think 2 games, like literally 2 games where he was playing exactly where he needed to be. Can we find those games? Frozen tools, excuse me. Harbor. Game log. 16 minutes here versus Calgary. What is this? Hits? 6 hits. 3 hits. This is 16 minutes versus Chicago. But there's 2 games specifically, like back to back, where he played good. Might have been here, Vancouver and Detroit. It was fairly recent. 16 minutes against Calgary, though. That's pretty darn good. Anyway, you get the sense that he was walking around with confidence. And then he had a miserable game. It was the game that Caden Gooley came back. And Arbor Xhekaj was trying to do way too much. And to the point where he tried to defend on Gooley's side. I think it was like a 2-on-2 rush play or something like that. And he tripped Caden Gooley trying to like lunge across the ice. And they went in and scored, and it just looked just awful. But yeah, he's not playing up to his ability from years past. I know he has more to give. Nobody's in stagnant. I remember doing this before and having some players in stagnant, but I think that Danault's stocks have increased a little bit. He is as advertised. He might be stagnant. He's doing what we wanted him to. Let's put him in stagnant. All right, I got to move along. 11:37. Let's look and see what you guys came up with and see how close it is. Oh, Danault and stagnant. What? Struble. I thought you guys would have had him lower. Dobesh, stagnant. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Pretty close. I was a little bit. What? You guys had Matheson up there? I was a little bit more generous to Kapanen, huh? That makes sense. Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, yeah. What do you say about that? We're pretty aligned. I actually take that as a huge compliment to my ability to try to place these guys in a ranked system like this. All right, let's move on to our next category. What did I want to talk about after this? Bryce Pickford. This I had like, oh man, I might have to do a video on Pickford instead, because I have like 20 minutes lined up for him. I found a really great video by Flux CC. I got to check out more of their stuff because this is fantastic what they did.
Pickford can't stop scoring. And Winnipeg Ice work the puck off. He's got Marcus Ruck up top, left circle. Pickford, a shot, he scores!
Liam Ruck gets it back to the right point, a pass for Moss. To his left, Pickford has a lane, walks.
Night C91.
Turning with it is Marcus Ruck. He'll turn with it again, the shovel up top. Across Pickford, one-timer scores!
He'll fire, that's blocked, comes to Pickford. High slot, he'll shoot, he'll score! For Marcus Ruck, work to his right, Bryce Pickford. Holds, waits, fires, score!
Rebound sits in the crease. Wheat Kings try to clean it up. It's worked back out front. They score. Bryce Pickford from
both teams battling for it. Misha Volotovsky, former Saskatoon Blade out there. Cunningham back to the middle point. Pickford holds, shoots, scores. Quick snapshot.
I'm watching this back, and this is going to come off negative because it is negative. These are very much WHL goals. that's what I worry about, whether or not he can replicate this in the NHL. Yeah. At this point, I'm still listen to what North of 67 has to say. Be careful not to overhype Pickford. What he's doing in the W is phenomenal, but he has a long way to go. At this point, it's still not a given he'll develop into an NHLer, but really cool stuff. Absolutely. Like he's making records. That being said, the composition of the WHL might have changed a little bit this season because of the decisions made with in relation to the NCAA, right? Like, does that track? Yeah, I don't know. Not being negative, you are bang on. Numbers are impressive, but don't really look at them. I know. Numbers are extremely impressive. Listen to this. Where is it? So this is the season where things really got interesting for Pickford. Pickford's numbers right now are 33 goals, 29 assists, 62 points in 42 games. Insane, obviously insane numbers for a defenseman. He led the WHL he led the WHL defenseman in goals and had massive offensive growth this season. One article described his offensive growth as taking a massive leap, which is exactly what the Canadiens look for in development players. I believe I think this is right. He hit 33 goals in 40 games this season at one point. And I believe that is a record. But yeah, I just wonder if it translates to the NHL. It seems like he definitely has an accurate shot. Yeah, I'm really interested to see how he continues to develop. All right, I really got to head to bed, so we're gonna speed this along. Oh shoot, we still have to do the ad break for Slab Sharks. Oh, that's soon. Hot takes and Q&A. I have a bunch of these. So who finishes first in the Atlantic? I think it's going to be Tampa. Biggest Canadian storyline after break? I think it will be Kirby Dach. I think that Dach is going to find a groove and you're going to see him producing. I think a little bit of that, a little bit of why I think that's going to happen is kind of the pressures of his contract coming to an end and having to identify himself as some sort of a player for some sort of a reason. Yeah, I think that Dach could have a big season this season, and I'm really pulling for him. So, dang. I wanted to do so much more, but we're running out of time. I was yakking too much. Yapping. Should I hit this wheel? Let's hit this wheel a couple times. One player you were wrong about. Trevor Zegras. Even though he's not anymore having like an insane year, I thought he would move to Philadelphia and I thought he'd be injured again, but I thought he would be identify himself as a middle six player, and he does have like a lot of offensive talent. Touching on Pickford one more time, his shot is his strength, but his skating and defense still need a lot of work. Hopefully he can develop those tools enough to make it to the NHL one day. Skating is so important. Oh my gosh, it's insanely important. Was anybody confused when Alex Barré-Boulet never got another opportunity on the Canadiens last season? even though he led the Rocket in points, it's his skating. He was doing gangbusters down on Laval, but his skating is his problem. Yeah. You're always skating. You're not always shooting. Anyway, all right. Most overrated. Oh, this one should be good. Most overrated NHL team, yeah. Most overrated NHL team. NHL standings. What do you guys think? Who's the most overrated NHL team? If this was last year, I would say the Capitals. Toronto? I would say Toronto too, but like even their fans right now are saying that they're dumb. The Oilers are overrated. I kind of agree. They're just so shallow. Yeah, I'm going with Oilers. Most frustrating. Oh, no. Line A. Valeno. Valeno or Line A. I hate talking bad about my Habs. Oh, it's embarrassing. Stanley Cup prediction. I don't know. I think that Colorado wins it. That's such a boring answer. Did they say when Landeskog's coming back? Yeah, Line is not even playing. That's why it's so frustrating. I wish he was at least playing. Favorite Canadian player ever? Oh, that's easy. Well, is it easy? I'd say Patrick Roy. Patrick Roy. This is kind of fun. I should have did this earlier. First, Canadiens memory. First Canadiens memory. First Canadiens memory. I'm gonna say it was getting a bunch of because I liked the Canadiens before then. Why did I like? I think it's just watching the Canadiens with my dad. But I got a bunch of hockey cards from one of my dad's friends, I think, and there was a Mats Naslund card, and that was he became my favorite player for a short period of time because I think what happened in '89 was he injured? Was he traded? He didn't have a long career, right? What went down with Naslund? Anyway, Guy Carbonneau became my favorite player, and then Patrick Roy became my favorite player. So yeah, I guess my first memory is watching the Habs with my dad. Most exciting prospect in hockey. That's a stupid one. I don't know. I find the most exciting prospect personally is for the Canadiens, and I guess for me would be Michael Hage. Just what he was able to show in the juniors, it was just there's something there, and yeah, you hope it translates at an NHL level. One player you were right about. It's tough because, you know, you talk about your team often. When the Toronto fan that I'm friends with, who we talk hockey a lot, he'll say like Nick Suzuki would be such a good 2C on the Maple Leafs, and that whole like he's not a real 1C conversation. I mean I had to fight those allegations for 3 years with him, and I mean it's everybody was right about that. Like it's not an honest argument to say that he doesn't have 1C qualities. I said that Caulfield would continue to get better and better. I was super excited for Hudson right off the bat. That turned out, yeah. Anyway, all right. Let's move on to the next part. Sorry, I'm rushing this along, guys. I just have so much fun. It's funny because my wife tonight, I got off of work and I had supper and I played with my daughter, and then I played Wobbly Life with my son, and I said, man, I feel so rushed, but I have to go pick up a couple beer, and then I have a couple things to do before I start the live stream. So she's like, that must be, stressful. You should just can you tell them that you're just not going to do the live stream, and just chill out and maybe go to bed early? And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I've been looking forward to this all day. Yeah, I want to do this. Like, this is my passion. I love doing this. So it's funny that she thought like I wasn't looking forward to it, and she was worried that like I had to, I would have rather have gone to bed early, but really I just wanted to talk with you guys. I feel like we can talk, and this is like therapy for me. I don't get a lot of this with my friends. I have to talk to Toronto fans, for heaven's sake, in order to talk hockey. So yeah, I appreciate you guys in ways that I don't even know you understand. And not to get too heady on you, but she's sleeping. She's in bed. She's got to wake up really early to work at the hospital tomorrow. So yeah, not to get too heady on you, but you know how they talk about like weird parasocial relationships with like a content creator doing these live streams and things like that? I don't think that that's weird. We're all people. People commiserate with each other. People relate with each other. People share with each other. Like it's all important. Okay, maybe if there was 67,000 people all talking in chat and I wouldn't even be able to read one of your messages or even talk to you, but like I remember your usernames. Like, anyway, yeah, that's I'm obviously getting drunk. So hot takes, Q&A. Does anybody have any Q&A for me? Any questions? Later, rigatonis. Where does your name Whiskeylung come from? Oh, we went over this earlier. I'm getting tired of responding to this, but I'll do it one more time for you. When I was younger, my favorite drink at parties was whiskey, and I used to drink a lot of it so much that People were like, how come it's like not getting into his bloodstream? Because I had a high tolerance for alcohol, which is not good. But yeah, that's how I got the nickname. People would say that it's going into my lung instead of my stomach. Thank you for the great content. I've been watching your videos after every game. Thank you for watching my videos. Where was I born? I was born in Bathurst, New Brunswick. Actually, just outside of Bathurst in Robertville. They called it Bobtown. It's actually a little bit in the woods. Yeah, so I grew up in like is it even considered a town? Very small area. Not a question, but hope you're going to keep doing this for a long time. I hope so too. Make a video that explains your name and pin it. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. Charlo, no way. What made you choose the Habs? My dad, that was his team. It's a hereditary Habs fan. But there was a time where I also liked the Pittsburgh Penguins. And I could have been a Penguins fan, but you know, the Penguins had Mario Lemieux at the time. And obviously Jagger was electric, but really I liked what continued my Habs fandom was Patrick Roy. And then of course when I think that hockey was at the fever pitch of how much I loved it, Roy gets traded. So yeah, Canadiens are so iconic. Best fan base, most critical of hockey, but also so loving of their team. We kind of talked about this earlier. You hear so much that the Toronto Maple Leafs, yeah, they're Canada's team or whatever. And I think technically they do have the largest fan base, but also it's Toronto, it's the market, right? It's different. They are, I find that they have a somewhat negative fan base when it comes to how they treat their team. I mean, also they're probably, to commiserate with them, they're probably getting pretty discouraged. If you can undo any trade except for the Roy trade, which would it be? Just a second. Do you know? Okay, so this is a conditional response because I can't remember the trade tree from Tyler Toffoli, but I really like Tyler Toffoli, and I wish they hadn't traded him. And I think that Emil Heinemann emerged from that, and we know that was a really instrumental trade. McDonough. Oh, really? Okay, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I really like Tyler Toffoli. I still like him. Okay. I'm going to run an ad. I'm going to use the washroom. This is a pre-made ad. I created this for Slab Sharks, and I'm hoping what they do is use this for internal purposes. So without further ado, I'm going to premiere that ad to you guys, And I'm just going to go use the washroom and get something to drink, and I'll be right back. My name's Whiskeyloung, and I want to share my experience making a submission to Slab Sharks. The purpose of this video is I think I can help you out. I want to tell you what I learned, and maybe it'll help you decide whether or not making a submission to Slab Sharks is right for you. Going into this and before making a submission, I thought maybe the process could be difficult. But the reality is, I've collected cards for a long time now, and I have hundreds of cards just sitting around. Cards worth anywhere between, $8 and like a couple $100. And the reason I never sold them was because I was overwhelmed. Posting cards to eBay or Marketplace, it takes time. It can be annoying. You're constantly checking the sales prices, taking pictures, dealing with tire kickers. And then there's the process of mailing the cards yourself, and that's a whole thing on its own. I even had cards that were lost in the mail, and I had to eat that cost myself. So a lot of these cards in my collection, they were just sitting there, depreciating in value. So that's where Slab Sharks comes in. I created an account online, got familiar with their user-friendly interface, and I also went through the helpful material that walks you through the process on slabsharks.com/sell your cards. For my first submission, I submitted 60 cards. Actually, 61. They corrected me when I inputted the wrong amount of cards. Thanks, Slab Sharks, for being honest. And right up front, just to be clear, Slab Sharks takes a fee based on the final sale price of your card. So it's important to send cards that make sense for you in terms of their worth, but also what you think that they will sell for. What worked for me was selling cards that were worth somewhere between $8 and $50. With a few bigger ones mixed in, I had a Roman Yossi Glory Shield that I was basically waiting for a good time to sell it, and the Predators are doing all right now, so I sent this one in. One of the first steps is filling out a consignment form, which is extremely easy. You can print it out or you can do it online. They ask for your name, your email address, package details, phone number, how many cards you're sending in. And it's worth mentioning before we go any further, you can also submit unopened wax boxes, comics, memorabilia, which is nice if you're not just dealing in raw cards or slab cards. Once you've finished filling out the consignment form, you print it out, fold it, place it in the box with your cards. I threw a couple of sheets of paper towel in there just to keep everything secure and prevent the cards from shifting around. Then you bring it to your preferred shipper, send it to the provided address corresponding to the shipper you're using, and then make sure you get a tracking number and if you want extra insurance for the cards. Once your package is in transit, you can head back to your Slab Sharks account and update your submission with that tracking number. After that, you're basically waiting for them to upload your auctions. Once they do, this is where it gets fun. You can monitor all of your auctions right inside the Slab Sharks interface. No messing around with eBay, bouncing back between different tabs. It's all at a bird's eye view. I found it incredibly convenient. And honestly, it's a little bit addicting to watch. As the auctions get closer to ending, that's when bids start coming in. For particularly rare cards, especially cards that maybe collectors are waiting to see populate on eBay, you can fall into some real bidding wars. From my first submission, I ended up making $662. That's $662 worth of cards that might have just found its way into my personal collection and depreciating in value over time. As you may know, with hockey card collecting, teams, players, sets, and previous year's sets might depreciate after time because the newest version of the card might be more desirable than last year's version. After all my auctions wrapped up and the buyers paid for their purchase, Slab Sharks transferred me my payment. And it still blows me away how easy and frictionless this was. So if you've been sitting on a stack of slabs and you're overwhelmed with the process, I really think Slab Sharks is worth looking into. I've been Whiskeyloung. If you have any questions, drop them down below in the comments. And until next time. Yeah. Pretty cool. Great experience making a submission with Slab Sharks. And yeah, just a relief to get some of those cards off the shelf. It really is such a pain selling like cards and having like hundreds of cards that you have to sell. So yeah, kind of a match made in heaven relationship with Slab Sharks. And I hope that we're going to continue. I'm going to find out if we are going to do another campaign soon. So hope to see more Slab Sharks. What did we have left? I really got to head to bed, guys. I'm sorry, but Slab Sharks Montreal trip. Okay. I'm going to talk about this. I want to talk about it a little bit more than what I'm going to have time to talk about. But my trip to Montreal was like a dream. It was for my birthday. I turned 42 years old. We had to drive from Moncton to Halifax for a cheaper flight. I'm not going to do that next time. It's worth the extra $400, which technically is only like $200 because of gas and probably the extra food that you have to pay to drive to Halifax for the cheaper flights. I know. I wrote out all this. I just talked too much earlier in the stream. Like it's because this is really kind of just my chance to hang out and talk with you guys. So yeah, I get trapped doing that. But so we drove to Halifax. We took the flight. We got to Montreal. We took the bus to downtown. That was interesting. The bus systems are way better than obviously around here. Better than better than what I've ever experienced. But yeah, crazy driving on those buses, just going like full click, and the streets were not good. It had snowed. We drive to downtown. We go to the Airbnb, check it out. It doesn't look like the pictures. The place smells weird. The floorboards are all like out of whack. And we were like, oh, well, you know, we don't have to stay here often. It's just a place where we can go to sleep at the end of the night and it's nice and warm. Well, we try to use the tap. There's no hot water. And at this point, we're like, if there's no hot water, how come the guy renting it to us said we weren't able to go in until 4 o'clock? Check-in time was 4 o'clock. We were hoping to go in earlier. Yeah, it didn't make any sense anyway. And they also said it was cleaned. How do you clean? I don't know. How do you clean without hot water? I guess you can clean without hot water, but anyway, we called we didn't call them. He didn't have a telephone number. We contacted the renter. We said, there's no hot water. He said, okay, I'm sending somebody by. Like 2 hours go by. Somebody finally shows up. They're like, yeah, there's no hot water. We're like, yeah, we know. That's why we called you. So they're like, we're going to get a heater and come back, and we're going to put the heater inside the laundry room where the pipes are located. So they came back, they set up the heater, and they said, all good. It's all fixed. And we're like, oh, so we have hot water? They're like, no, but it'll fix itself in a couple of hours. Anyway, we go out, we go eat. We get some pizza, which I'll tie this in now. I really recommend pizza from Pizza Rosie. Delicious pizza. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. I loved it. We would have got it 2 nights, but the second night, we were so tired, we just like ended up going to bed. Anyway, at like 3 o'clock in the morning, this heater has been going in the laundry room, and still no hot water. The pipes are still frozen. As far as we know, we were sleeping, but whatever. Pipe bursts. You hear like a pop, and then you hear water pissing everywhere. Go in, and it doesn't look like it's like a big like water isn't coming out super bad yet. And I woke up my wife, and we're trying to figure it out. We're talking to Airbnb. We're also trying to contact the owner. Nobody's getting back to us. And as my wife is communicating with them and saying, what should we do? Where's the water shutoff valve? Whatever. another pipe bursts. And where the pipes are located, it's like in a recess inside of a wall. And the second pipe is gushing water. It's going up in my face, but also inside the recess of this wall, so poorly designed, is the circuit box, or the electrical box, the electrical panel. So I'm like, oh my God, I can get electrocuted. I get out of there. We call the fire department because we're not getting a satisfactory response out of the Airbnb. And it's bonkers, man. Here, I think I have a clip. I shared this in a video. You might have already seen it. All right, so this is the laundry room. This is the electrical box, and this is the recess in the wall where the water is like flying out from a pipe. So check it out. How crazy is that? So we call the fire department. They show up. They're like, "Holy smokes! Where's the cutoff for the water?" We're like, "We don't know. We can't even get in touch with the landlord." They're freaking out. We're freaking out. There's a family upstairs. We didn't want to wake them up. We were hoping to solve this ourselves. But the firemen just start banging on their doors. The guy comes down in his boxers. They're asking him questions. He doesn't speak French. The firefighters are having a hard time communicating with him. Buddy doesn't speak English very well either. And finally, he's like, I know that there's a trap door at the bottom of the stairs. And yeah, there's a trap door at the bottom of the stairs that leads to a crawl space under the house. One of the firefighters had to get in there, crawl to the shutoff valve, shut it off, and then they're able to shut off the electrical, the breaker, because they were afraid of getting electrocuted too. So, yeah, they shut off the water. They shut off the electricity. Say, you guys have to go. This is going to get way worse during the night. Let the landlord know, or let the owner know that they need to do something, because the pipes are going to refreeze, and yeah, it's just going to be another big mess to clean up. We tried to get the laundry room fixed up as good as we can. We got the water out. It was still wet, and obviously there's water damage like everywhere. It seeped into the kitchen and everything. So it's going to be a big insurance claim. So anyway, that was a big rigmarole. We're out at 4 a.m. in the morning trying to find a hotel room. And at the time there was a conference. There was a bunch of, not conferences, but there was events in town that booked up all the hotel rooms. So a lot of the hotels, Best Western and all that, they were booked. We went to the Sheraton and we're like, oh man, this place is kind of more expensive than what we can afford, but hopefully they just have a room, because we need 2 rooms. I traveled there with my wife and my friend, and my friend didn't want to stay like with us in like a separate bed. And we, to be honest, yeah, I don't like doing that either. So anyway, the guy at the front counter said, yeah, no kidding. I know. They should have done something. They should have set us up, but they didn't. It gets worse. So we get into the Sheraton. The guy's like, we are overbooked by 12 rooms. We have like negative 12 rooms, but yeah, I'll hook you up. You guys can have 2 rooms. Like those 12 rooms, they're being held or whatever, something like that. So we got into a room, so nice in the Sheraton. And we were happy at that point. We're like, I don't care like just a place with warm water and a place that we can sleep. And eventually, I'll talk about the Airbnb now. The Airbnb, what happened with it, the fallout. We got our refund. It took a little bit of doing to get even just a refund. And then we said, you agreed that you would provide us with a place to stay. You couldn't keep up your end of the bargain. And what that had us do is we were forced to get a hotel room that was way more expensive than what we were expecting to do. They didn't, of course, our hotel room doesn't have a kitchen, all these extra expenses that we didn't necessarily want to pay for. Plus the awful experience of, potentially, if we didn't wake up when those pipes burst and the electrical panel just started like shooting out sparks or something that caught fire, or who knows? Like that was a bad experience. So anyway, they didn't want to pay for our hotel rooms. We fought and fought and fought. And then it sounded like they were going to pay for our hotel rooms entirely. But like they reneged, like they changed representatives that was speaking with us. So they paid for like 20%. I said, that's not good enough. Is there somebody else that I can talk to? No, there's nobody you can talk to. I said, okay, well, I have friends who work in the media, so I'm going to go to the media, and this is going to cost you guys a whole lot more than, $2,000 or whatever that you need to pay us back or whatever. So I'm working on that now. I'm just making it painful for them. I tried to contact the office of the CEO with Airbnb. They ignore us. It's just been awful. Airbnb, I can't say enough bad about them. Just a terrible service. That's not only was the service terrible, but what they're doing to housing, turning it into an even worse investment than what the housing market is already doing. The housing, it's just completely garbage. Like I hate it. Like I really like, I know that Airbnb is like banned in certain places. They need to do that more of that. I hate them. Anyway, so food in Montreal was great. The game was fantastic against the Habs. They must have known that I was there on my birthday to see that game, because what an incredible game. Nick Suzuki, the shorthanded goal was like, I can't believe I got to see that. I will replay that goal in my mind a million times. It was a fantastic night. My wife, during a commercial break, one of the great Bell Center team for the Montreal Canadiens, tap her on the shoulder while I'm out getting a beer and say, do you want to play a game during the commercial break? You'll be on the Jumbotron, and we'll ask you to identify Habs players by their baby picture. And you can win a jersey, a bag, some beauty products. And she said, okay. My wife is totally not the type that wants to be in front of a camera. She gets embarrassed very easily. She's I wouldn't say she's introverted, but she doesn't like putting herself out there like that. And she did it, and she said, no, like, Ryan, can you do it for me? And I was like, no, like, she's like, it's your birthday. They'll love doing it with you. You could say it's your birthday. I was like, no, but I'll go with you and, like, offer you support. And, like, they're like, yeah, you can yell answers at her. So they're going through the baby pictures. The first one is of Alexandre Carrier, I think. And I was like, looked really nervous. She was like very stiff. I said, who did I say it was? No, it was Joe Veleno. Yeah, I was like, that's gotta be Alexandre Carrier. So she's like, Alexandre Carrier? And they're like, oh, sorry, no. And then the next one was, who was it? Oh, it was Dobesh. And I was like, the kid had blonde hair. That's got to be Caden Gooley. Say Caden Gooley. Caden Gooley. She said it, Caden Gooley. No. Oh, these are really difficult. Oh, you're doing good, though. You still have one left. And I think you'll be able to get this one. Thank God. They put the baby picture up. It's Mike Matheson as a baby, red-haired little baby. I'm like, oh, Mike Matheson, this red hair, it's got to be. So she said Mike Matheson. I shouldn't have been railroading that the game that much, but yeah, she got the last one. She won. Yeah, my name's Ryan. Ryan O'Toole. Don't Google me. No, I think it's all good. I'm joking. My least favorite part, definitely Airbnb. Another part of Montreal that bugged me was, holy smokes, the snow removal service. Ryan, R-Y-A-N. The snow removal service in Montreal, like 3 days late. What the heck? The sidewalks were garbage, like trash garbage. Got to get that snow over there, guys. Dan O'Toole. No, I've been asked that before. I mean, probably like down the line. I'm fourth generation. My grandfather and his dad came to Canada from Ireland in Newfoundland. I think there's still a lot of O'Tooles in Newfoundland. Then moved to New Brunswick. My grandfather was a plumber by trade, and yeah, there's a decent amount of O'Tooles in Atlantic Canada, but also O'Tooles that migrated further inland as well. Ottawa is bad with snow too. Next time in Montreal, I have an apartment you can borrow next to the Bell Center if you need a place. Absolutely, yeah, that would be killer. I've had a couple of offers. If you ever want to come to Montreal, you can. We got a spare room. We'll set you up real good. People offering food. Somebody said homemade lasagna. I was like, oh. But that type of stuff, reading that type of stuff is like, man, that would be really cool to do. It's also scary at the same time because you're like, well, I don't know you. But I feel like, yeah, I don't know. People are too safe these days. Anyway, where are we at? I think that's it. I think I'm calling it a night. There's something that I realize about my live streams. We just kind of shoot the breeze, right, for a lot. And like I have a structure to my live streams, but we go long. Like this was, yeah, super long. I realize some of you might not like that. But gosh, we had like 80 something concurrent viewers, 90, 100, over 1,500 views. So I hope that you like these live streams. We'll continue to do them and probably more so over this Olympic break. But yeah, I have a lot of fun doing this. It's a little bit to set up. Yeah. I don't know. I'm tired, guys. I hope you have a good night. Thank you for hanging out with me. Hope you're all doing well, taking care of yourselves. Yeah, I'll probably make a video sooner than later. Can't really guarantee when. This weekend, my wife is working 12-hour shifts. I'm going to take care of my son and my daughter. But on Monday, I booked the day off, and on Tuesday I booked the day off, but I don't know what Monday and Tuesday are going to be like because my wife is getting 4 wisdom teeth extracted. So I really hope that she is not in some insane pain, because I've gotten 2 of my wisdom teeth extracted. They had to be extracted, and it wasn't a big deal for me, but some people do not take that well. So yeah, cross your fingers. All right. You guys know what to do. Like the video, helps me out with, I don't know, search results or something. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. I would love to have you. And as always, I will see you